Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order. And note that we have on the phone all four councillors. Also, the staff, Alex Patterson, Kevin Severin. Is Dan on yet? Still waiting for Dan. We also have on the phone line guest Charlie Tedesco, and in person here in the municipalities, myself, Ron Rody, Clerk and Acting CEO Kathy Sear, Manuela, and Sue, Acting Treasurer and Recorder. As we work through the agendas, I will be calling out the movers and seconders, and then I'll ask the council to acknowledge their vote by saying aye or nay. So, call for any disclosure of pecuniary interests. Seeing none, moved by Robert that we approve the agenda for our corporate meeting of January 19th, 2021. All in favor?
Aye. All in favor.
Okay, thank you. That's carried. There are no delegation. Adoption of minutes moved by Councillor Hatfield that we accept the corporate planning meeting minutes of Tuesday, December 15th. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
That's carried. Thank you. There's no business of this meeting. Under new business, first item 7.1, the creditor controls, signage and insurance. You received a couple of letters in your package, and we have Charlie Tedesco on the line. Charlie, if you'd just like to expand on that a little bit and speak to council about the issue.
Okay, can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah, you're coming through well here.
Okay, you're coming a little warbly, Ron, that's why I asked.
Okay.
So just a couple of things. We've been, go ahead. A couple of years ago, I approached council about purchasing a live trap based on requests from people in town to see about dealing with coyotes. Unfortunately, at that time, it appeared that we would be able to secure liability insurance, but since that time, we've been unable to find anyone that will touch that. And I don't know if anyone's experience with insurance has been better than mine, but usually it's when it comes to primary and secondary holders of insurance, they try to fight with each other as to who's going to actually pay. So the last round where I had approached the Fur Harvesters Federation and the Federation of Angler and Hunters Insurance Carriers, they said they would look into it, but they could not secure a vendor that would provide the insurance for a third party to use the live trap. And what they came back and said was, well, the liability would then fall back on the municipality because they own the trap. And our intent never was to saddle the municipality with liability issues, nor do any of us want to touch it if we cannot secure our own liability insurance. So I feel somewhat bad about that in that the township now owns a very nice trap, but the only people that are going to be able to use it are municipal employees. So we've exhausted all of our avenues on that. So for as far as third-party agents using that trap with liability insurance, it's not feasible and not available to obtain that type of insurance right now.
Well, thank
Any
you.
questions regarding that?
Yeah, I'll throw that open to council if any of you have questions.
Hi, it's Robert here. So could we have a town employee come and use the trap on private property?
Well, you could, especially if you have an animal control officer, but at the end of the day, if it's somebody that has got a hunting license or a trapping license, they can act as an agent. But if you're doing it on behalf of the municipality, as animal control, then I believe that would fall under your purview.
Are there any other questions? Well, we'll certainly keep all of that in mind, Charlie, and as you said, we have an excellent trap, and if we are able to find an opportunity to be able to use it, then we'll take care of that and go ahead and use it. In the
As I said, I
meantime,
clearly apologize for that. At the time when I had suggested it to council, it did appear that we had avenues to obtain insurance for it.
yeah, well, we certainly know that there was only good intentions as we move forward on that one, and we'll see what will happen. Thank you very much for joining us this evening, and we'll just stay tuned on that and see how it develops. Thank you.
Okay, and I believe the second item had to deal with signage.
Oh, yes.
We've had, as a group, we've purchased our own signs to put up when we were doing the predator control hunt at the 3 locations in town. However, the signage that Alex had made a few years ago is in bad disrepair. I've sent Kathy a picture tonight of the sign down at the golf course. And what I'm wondering is, would the township be able to make new signs and put them up at those locations again, please?
I'm sure that's something we can do. As council, our councilors in agreement with that?
I am.
Yes, I am too.
Great.
Yeah, thank you.
Very good. It's a good service that Charlie and the group that work with them are providing for the municipality. So any way that we can help, we should always be there. And I'd ask you to, you dealt with Alex before on the signs?
Actually, Alex developed the signs and he was the one that posted them up, if I remember correctly. Is that right, Alex?
That's correct, Mr. Tedesco. Is everybody okay with myself and the crew here fabricating some permanent signs to attach instead of the ones that we put up before were just laminated paper?
Yeah, if you make it stronger, more permanent, that's great. And Alex, if you could take the lead on that, you have council's approval, go ahead and work on that.
Will do.
Okay,
Okay, other than that, all I can tell you is that since Christmas time, we called out 5 animals on the golf course. We were able to kill one, we missed one. But we have recently not had any more coyotes come out. And we were out again on this weekend on the golf course. So depending what happens with the snow dump and snow removal activities, we generally try to confine ourselves there at the weekends, just so that we're not interfering with the township business. Is there any other questions from council that I might be able to answer?
I got one, Charlie, about the coyotes in town, but that's taken care of from the outskirts, isn't it?
I don't understand what you mean, though.
Well, the coyotes in front of my property, going after the animals and all that, but you can't hunt them down or shoot them in town, can you?
Not in the built-up section of the municipality. We've got the 3 locations: the snow dump, the golf course, and behind the municipal garage, which we haven't used yet because the creek hasn't frozen. But we hope to get out there now that we're getting some colder weather somewhere in the near future.
That's good enough for me, thank you.
That's what the intention of what the live trap was for, Bill, was to deal with, like in the built-up areas, to be able to put the live trap out to try to catch the ones that are dealing with the pets.
Okay, thanks, Charlie.
okay, hearing no other questions, thank you very much, Charlie. And
Thank you very much.
thank you again for your service to the community. Good night.
Okay, have a good night, folks.
Item 7.2 is the municipal partnership with OPP accommodation. A couple of weeks ago, Councillor Tate and the CEO O'Neill and myself met through Zoom with a representative from the province dealing with issues related to OPP accommodations. A lot of the information that you have in front of you was presented to us. Basically, at this time, all we wanted to pass on to council is that we as a as a municipality, are going to send a letter in support of a new detachment for Wawa. At the same time, we will work with the OPP, and if there is suitable land that the municipality owns that would accommodate the site, the municipality, with the support of council, would be prepared to donate that land to the province to get this built. At the same time, we were going to also discuss with the OPP accommodations here at the municipal building on Broadway Avenue, because we were looking to renovate this building. And the question that we need answered is, do we renovate it with the idea that OPP would be tenants for a number of years moving forward? So we need some of those answers before we get the final drawings on how this building will be renovated. So that's the background on those two, and that will be coming forward to council in the springtime. Are there any specific questions anybody might have on that?
Ron, it's
Yes.
Mitch. Did you say that you're looking into the plans now to redo the building?
Yeah, there were plans done to renovate this building a number of years ago. We've taken those plans and submitted it to the consulting engineers, and based on today's building codes, they are looking at that and will come back to us with some ideas.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So we'll move to item 7.3. Actually, Alex, I think you'll speak to 7.3, 7.4, and 7.5.
Yep.
If you want to start, and you can pause to, if there are any questions during your presentation.
Will do. Can you guys hear me okay?
They're coming through well here. Yep.
Okay. Okay, so first one that I have up is the report for December 2020. I'll just breeze through and hit a couple highlights. The first one is in December, we completed phase 3 of our reopening plan. So that was implementing all of the youth, senior, and adult programming all together. We got to do that for a couple weeks before we were shut down. We started on December 24th, and we remained shut down today. So in those months, we were able to compare some revenue. And you can see I've got two graphs on pages 3 and 4 about what the revenue comparison is. The gist of it is that based on the projection compared to the actual, we're down about $670 per week. And so that is, the difference between the projected revenue that we originally presented to council and the actual revenue, with the biggest hits being essentially a chunk out of curling and a chunk out of fitness. We took the biggest fitness essentially because that's the program we were able to integrate last. As a municipal program, we try and make sure that we can accommodate all of our user groups before we actually put our own programming together. And you can see based on the schedule that we had a really limited time, and so we shifted a lot of that programming from our traditional evening programming to some early morning programming with, obviously less people showing up for that and less revenue generated. You can see in some of the appendices based on, our schedule, what the actual workload is for staff. So I've got a full schedule in the back as well as a staff schedule to just illustrate, how full we actually are when we're taking these bookings because of how much cleaning and things we need to do in between each booking. Other things to highlight for December, we had a really successful Santa Claus parade, which was a very different parade than what we normally saw. We did it stationary in the parking lot. We counted over 130 individual vehicles, each with a family or a couple people in the vehicles, which we were really, really happy to see that amount of turnout. And we feel like it was a really good opportunity for the community to come out and, enjoy something slightly different, but we're still having something. It's not just everything is canceled because of COVID. We also participated in the Goose Nest Market, and that was something that was also very successful, and we like to compliment the EDC on. I think they did an excellent job organizing it. Again, lots of folks came out. It was a very well-run event. It followed all the COVID guidelines, and it was a neat little night market atmosphere to have. Any questions on the report?
Alex, Pat here. I just have one question. I know we have under tourism nothing to report, but I was just thinking, as a council and as the lead, you're the lead on this. We'll have to start looking at a strategy plan for year 2021.
Absolutely. So there's some really, really big things coming up with how we recover from tourism in COVID-19. Obviously, the closure of the TIC last year was a really tough decision to make, but we saw how much that impacted the community with how many people are coming to the community. So I'll have something for you next meeting, because we have a letter that I'm responding to right now from the EDC giving us some suggestions for that. So expect to see a report next meeting with that letter and some of the ideas we have for moving tourism forward.
Awesome.
Alex, it's Mitch. I thoroughly enjoy your reports, Alex. They're really well organized, and I like reading them.
Thank you, Mitch.
If no other questions, Alex, you can move on to 7.4 and 7.5.
Very good. Okay, so 7.4, this is the MMCC reopening plan update. So essentially, with the new sort of phases that we're in now, being green, yellow, orange, red, and lockdown, we've adapted our plan, our existing community center reopening plan, to make sure that we can accommodate events in those phases. You can see the plan goes into detail about how we specifically do those things. Green, yellow, and orange are for the most part the same. Like, they really target fitness classes and how fitness classes operate, but the rest of the facility can operate in almost the same way, or the same way that it's operated the whole time. It's only when we get into the red zone of the 5-zone plans from the province that we really see big changes at the community center. And one of those changes is it limits each section of ours to no more than 10 people at a time. So when we evaluated our programs, what happens here, if that's feasible or not, essentially what we're making a recommendation to council on is that you adopt the plan as it's written here, but also that we have a little bit of a plan in place for whatever zone that we come out of this lockdown into. So we're recommending at this point that the community center reopen in the green, yellow, and orange zones, because we feel as staff that that is feasible, and that we remain closed in the red or the gray zone, which is lockdown, which is what we're in now, where we're forced to close anyways, or should there be a case in our community, or as directed or recommended by Algoma Public Health. So that's essentially the gist of it. You can see that I've also included the 4 what we're calling cheat sheets for the zones, which illustrate the changes. And the changes in those cheat sheets are highlighted, and those sheets are intended to go out to user groups and to the public as sort of a forward-facing, easy to understand, basically breaking the plan down into the really kind of things that people need to know versus having to read the whole plan. Any questions?
Yeah, it's Pat again here. I guess it's all just a wait and see. I guess the plan's in place, but it's just all about wait and see what happens, right?
Absolutely. So we actually, we finished all of these plans on the first Wednesday after we were back, expecting to be back up and running like normal on Monday. And then that Thursday is when they put us into lockdown. So we've got all these plans in the wings. We feel like we're ready. They've been approved by Algoma Public Health. So as soon as we know what we're coming out into, we can pull one of these off the shelf and run with it. But who knows when that's going to be. So we're ready for whenever the province is.
No, that's great to have this all in place. That's good work.
No other questions. Alex, did you wish to speak to the plan update, safety plan? That's going to come forward in the regular council meeting.
Sure. So this is the municipal COVID-19 safety plan. So So as the province implemented the Reopening Ontario Act, one of the requirements of a business in the Reopening Ontario Act is to ensure the health and safety of our employees, very specifically related to the things that we've done or the things we've put in place to keep COVID-19 out of the workplace. So essentially this plan isn't anything particularly new. It's most of it or all of it is stuff that we've been doing this whole time. All we've done is put it all into one document because if, for example, the Ministry of Labor showed up, we're required to have, a go-to, here's our COVID-19 safety plan, here's exactly what we're doing in each department, in each work area to ensure that our employees are safe. So as council acts as the employer under the Ontario Health and Safety Act, if you adopt this plan via resolution, that essentially makes it act like a policy, very similar to our health and safety policy and other policies. And that's basically just crossing, our T's and dotting our I's and making sure that all of the directives we've already put in place as staff are formally adopted by council in a way that's recognized by the Ministry of Labor or anybody else who may come knocking to make sure we're keeping our employees safe.
Thank you. Are there any more questions for Alex? Thank you, Alex. Alex, I just wanted to mention to you, I did get a return call from Science North regarding the program of Science North visiting 50 communities in Northern Ontario next summer. And I spoke to them about the opportunity of maybe coordinating the official opening of the beachfront, taking advantage of the Lions Beach area and having a celebration. And what was explained to me, one of the things that this Science North got, I believe, $1.2 million to run this program. There will be 3 organizing teams, one team in Sault Ste. Marie that will organize in our area. And what they want to do is promote the individual communities in Northern Ontario so that it'll be another summer of spending vacations in your own province. So they wanted to really highlight what's available in all communities. So they did say they get back to the municipality at towards the end of January. I passed on your name to them. You should hopefully hear from them sometime before the end of the month. Sounds like
well, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it sounds very exciting. They'll have a stage and band and science show, so we could tie that in with a municipal celebration would be great.
Very good.
Okay, thank you. So there's no in-camera. Our next meeting is February 16th. Moved by Bill that we adjourn at 6:57. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Carrie, thank you very much. We will we'll just get their other papers organized and we'll move right into the regular council meeting. So I'll call the meeting to order at 6:58 and note that we still have all members of council present, as well as Alex and Kevin, and the 4 individuals here in the chambers. Are there any pecuniary interests? Hearing none, we'll have approval of the agenda moved by Bill, seconded by Mitch.
Moved by Councillor Chaso, seconded by Councillor Hatfield. Resolved that the agenda for the regular meeting of council scheduled for Tuesday, January 19, 2021 be approved as presented.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good.
Aye.
That's carried. Thank you. There are no delegations. Announcements and giving a notice. Please note that our next meeting will be on Tuesday, February the 16th, and due to the COVID stay-at-home order, the meeting for Tuesday, February 2nd will be canceled. The adoption of minutes. We have a motion moved by Pat, seconded by Robert.
Moved by Councillor Tate, seconded by Councillor Reese, resolved that the following minutes of the meeting of council be adopted as presented. A, minutes of a regular meeting of council held on Tuesday, December 15th, 2020 is contained on pages 1 through 8, inclusive of the minute book. And B, minutes of a special meeting of council held on Thursday, December 17th, 2020 is contained on pages 1 to 2, inclusive of the minute book.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's carried. Thank you. Item 7, correspondence. There's 4 letters there. Information for councilors. Does anybody have any questions pertaining to any of that correspondence? Or wish to make a comment regarding the correspondence? Okay, hearing none, I'll move to the consent agenda. Moved by Mitch, seconded by Bill.
Moved by Councillor Hatfield, seconded by Councillor Chason, resolved that the items listed under consent agenda, items 8.2 to 8.7, be approved as recommended.
Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
That's carried. Thank you very much. A motion to accept the staff reports or receive staff reports from Alex for December, moved by Robert, seconded by Mitch.
Moved by Councillor Reese, seconded by Councillor Hatfield. Resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Wawa does hereby receive staff report AP 2021-01, report for the month of December 2020, a copy of which is attached here too.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 That's carried.
Aye.
Thank you. There's no business arising from previous meeting. Under new business, 11.1, appoint captain of Wawa Volunteer Fire Department. We have a resolution moved by Pat, seconded by Bill.
Moved by Councillor Tate, seconded by Councillor Chason. Whereas the Wawa Volunteer Fire Department advertised and interviewed persons for the position of captain for the Wawa Volunteer Fire Department. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Wawa does hereby accept the recommendation of the interview committee to appoint Mr. Colin Black as a captain for the Wawa Volunteer Fire Department effective January 1st, 2021.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
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 That's carried. Thank you. And we'd like to congratulate Colin and thank him for his service. 11.2, approve the 2020 capital budget. And just if there are any questions after we read the resolution, Manuela is present here and will be able to answer any of your questions. So moved by Robert, seconded by Pat. We have the resolution, please.
Moved by Councillor Reese, seconded by Councillor Tate. Whereas the CAO Treasurer made a presentation at the special council meeting held on Thursday, December 17, 2020. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Wawa does hereby approve the 2021 capital budget, a copy of which is attached here too.
Any questions? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
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 That's approved. Thank you. Item 11.3, authorize submission funding application for the Federation of Canadian Municipalities Municipal Asset Management Program for improving asset data for future planning. And it's moved by Mitch, seconded by Bill.
Moved by Councillor Hatfield, seconded by Councillor Chason. Resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Wawa directs staff to apply for a grant opportunity from the Federation of Canadian Municipalities Municipal Asset Management Program for improving asset data for future planning. And further, that the Corporation of the Municipality of Wawa commits to conducting the following activities in its proposed project submitted to the Federation of Canadian Municipalities Municipal Asset Management Program to advance its asset management program. 1 is develop conditional assessment strategy. 2, conduct conditional assessments. 3, update asset inventory information. And further, that the Corporation of the Municipality of Wawa commits $12,500 from its budget towards the cost of this initiative.
Any questions? Call the question, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
That's carried, thank you. Nothing in our notice of motion. The bylaws, moved by Bill, seconded by Mitch.
Moved by Councillor Chaso, seconded by Councillor Hatfield. Resolved that the following bylaws be introduced and read a first, second, and third time and finally passed, and that the mayor and clerk do sign and seal the same. Any rule of this council to the contrary notwithstanding. Bylaw number 3364-21 to confirm the proceedings of council at its meetings held on the 17th day of December 2020 and the 19th day of January 2021. Bylaw number 3365-21 to provide for the interim tax levy and payment of interim taxes for the year 2021. Bylaw number 3366-21 to authorize the temporary borrowing from time to time to meet current expenditures during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2021. Bylaw number 3367-21 to amend bylaw number 3044-17 and extend the project deadlines under the Ontario Clean Water and Wastewater Fund to undertake the water reservoir rehabilitation and technical/operational rebuild project in the Mishpocotton River Village. And bylaw number 3368-21 to authorize the corporation of the municipality of Wawa to enter into an agreement with Municipal Government Wayfinders Limited respecting a municipal transformation report.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's carried, thank you. So there's no closed session tonight. Our next meeting will be Tuesday, February 16th. That will hopefully be after the lifting of the lockdown order on February 11th, and we'll be able to get together again here at council chambers for that meeting. I want to thank everyone for their participation this evening. Stay safe, and we'll see you on February 16th. Adjournment, close the meeting, moved by Councillor Tate.
Moved by Councillor Tate, resolved that the meeting close at 7:06 p.m.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's carried.
Aye.
Thank you. Have a good evening, folks.
Good night, everybody, and stay safe.
Thank you, Bill.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yes,
Yeah.
you too. Happy New Year.